You are not confused about when it started. Not the day you stopped replying. The day before that. The moment you realized you were the only one reaching out, remembering birthdays, driving across town at midnight when someone needed saving. You did the math without trying. Who called first? Who showed up for you? Who vanished when you needed them? The numbers never lied. You were never in a friendship. You were in a one-person performance, and you were the only one on stage. Now, your phone stays silent and you feel relief instead of loneliness. You say no without explaining. People say you changed. They are right. You stopped accepting scraps and calling them meals. You stopped mistaking convenience for connection. The loneliest you ever felt was not after cutting people off. It was before, sitting in rooms full of people who never truly saw you. You know the pattern. You listen. You validate. You carry others through their crises. When you finally ask for help, your message is read and unanswered. Years later, you are alone, truly alone. Yet the loneliness feels different. It is quiet, not crushing. Peaceful, not humiliating. You are no longer waiting for people to prove you do not matter. The world taught you that giving more would bring loyalty. You learned the truth instead. Most people do not want connection, they want convenience. 500 years ago, Niccolò Machiavelli observed the same reality. Dependence is dangerous. Vulnerability is only safe when the other person has something to lose. You are not broken for choosing isolation. You are adapting. Machiavelli would understand exactly what you did. You stopped being good in ways that were slowly destroying you. You stopped giving people the power to abandon you by abandoning them first. You applied the logic of power to the realm of connection. They called you cold. Let them. Sometimes the cruelest thing you can do to yourself is stay. Number 1. The leverage withdrawal. People think you woke up one day and decided to be difficult. They don't see the years before that, the years where you were the one who always answered, always showed up, remembered every birthday, checked in and actually meant it. You weren't just being nice, you were investing. You thought if you gave enough, cared enough, proved your loyalty enough, people would do the same. Then you needed it, and the math stopped working. Machiavelli understood something about power. People respect what they need, not what throws itself at them for free. When you made yourself too available, too reliable, you didn't make yourself valuable. You made yourself expected. Your presence became background noise. Your effort became invisible. There was no cost to ignoring you, no consequence to taking you for granted. You handed over all your leverage. Without even realizing, leverage was part of the equation. Here's the old scene. Your friend calls at 2 in the morning. Crisis. You get in your car. You drive across town. You sit with them for hours. You comfort, you advise, you stay until they can sleep. A week later, you need to talk. Can we meet up? I'm going through something. Sorry, super busy right now. Rain check? Rain check never comes. Now here's the scene after you learned this principle. They call at 2 a.m., you see the name. You remember the last 5 times you needed them and they had an excuse. You don't answer. You turn your phone over and go back to sleep. In the morning, there are multiple texts, increasingly desperate. You respond hours later. Hope you're okay. Can't talk right now. No apology. No over-explaining. Just a boundary that says your time is not a resource they can tap on demand. They say you've changed. Of course you have. You stopped letting people withdraw from an account they never deposit into. Instruction: stop being the one who reaches out first. Stop being the one who makes plans. Stop being the one who keeps the connection alive. Pull back completely and see who notices. Most people will disappear. That tells you everything. They weren't friends. They were beneficiaries of your effort. You were carrying dead weight and calling it connection. Number 2, the calculated absence. You didn't cut people off with a dramatic speech. No final fight. You just started fading. Texts took longer to answer, then stopped. Invitations got declined, then stopped coming. You moved cities without announcing it. You deleted social media without a goodbye post. You became a ghost in your own life. And most people didn't even notice. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must know when to be present and when to be absent. A prince who makes himself too available loses the mystique that makes people value his presence. Same with you. When you're always there, your absence has no weight. Here's what you used to do. Someone you haven't heard from in months texts, "Hey, how are you? We should catch up soon." You know this script. Guilt, boredom, or they want something. But you respond anyway. "Yeah, definitely, when works for you." You suggest times. They're busy. You suggest more. They'll let you know. They never do. You feel stupid for trying. After you learn calculated absence, the text comes, "Hey, how are you? We should catch up soon." You read it. You don't respond. Not out of rage, out of clarity. 3 days later. "Did you get my message?" Oh, you answer, "Yeah, got it. Super busy lately." No offer, no enthusiasm. Just a reality check. If you want me in your life, texting twice a year doesn't qualify. They might push back. Ask why you're distant. The old you would explain, apologize, try to fix it. The new you lets silence speak. If they can't figure out why you pulled away, that's exactly why you pulled away. They weren't paying attention. Machiavelli knew sometimes the most powerful move is doing nothing. You don't explain. You don't justify. You don't give people closure they didn't earn. You just remove yourself and let them sit with the space you left. Most will fill that space with a story where you're the villain. Let them. The ones who actually care will show it with effort, not words. Instruction. Stop announcing your distance. Don't send "I need space" essays. Just leave. Slowly or all at once. If they don't know why you left, that's your answer. Number 3, the inheritance of distrust. You didn't learn to cut people off as an adult. You learned it as a kid. Someone taught you that people leave, that needing help is dangerous, that your feelings are too much, that love comes with conditions. Maybe it was a parent who was physically present but emotionally gone. Maybe it was a home where "stop being dramatic" replaced comfort. Maybe you watched love end despite promises it wouldn't, and your brain learned that permanence is a fairy tale. Machiavelli understood that people are shaped by experience, not by moral slogans. A prince raised in war learns different lessons than a prince raised in peace. You were raised in emotional scarcity. You learned to expect nothing so disappointment wouldn't crush you. You learned to handle everything alone because asking meant being ignored, dismissed, or made to feel like a burden. You became independent because you had no choice. You were the kid who stopped sharing bad days because no one really listened. The kid who stopped asking for help because the sighs hurt more than the struggle. The kid who dimmed their joy because other people got uncomfortable. That wasn't personality. That was training. Those early experiences became your blueprint. Machiavelli would call it your education in human nature, not the polite textbook version, the real one, where people leave while promising they never will, where needing someone gives them power to wound you, where vulnerability turns into a weapon. So when people say you have trust issues, they are naming the symptom, not the cause. You don't have trust issues. You have data, years of it. A whole childhood telling you that trusting people is expensive and the bill always comes due. You're not broken, you're adapted. You cut people off now because you learned early that people cut you off first, just emotionally while sitting in the same room. Instruction. Stop pathologizing your defenses. See them as survival tools built by a younger you. You're not crazy for protecting yourself. You are consistent with your history. Number 4. The predictive severance. By adulthood, you can see it coming from miles away. Texts get shorter. Plans get rescheduled. They stop asking about your life. Their energy shifts from present to distracted. You've watched enough exits to recognize the early signs. Machiavelli taught that fortune favors those who act, not those who wait. Prince who sees a threat and does nothing is destroyed. One who moves first controls the outcome. The same with relationships. If you know someone is slowly exiting, waiting for the end only guarantees more pain. You lose them either way. The only control you have is whether you bleed slowly or cut clean. Old pattern. You meet someone, potential friend, maybe more. They show interest, remember details, make effort. You want to trust it. Then the decline starts. Responses slow, plans get vague, you feel it, but you hope you're wrong. You overcompensate. You give them the benefit of every doubt. Eventually, they ghost or drift away. You saw it coming and still let it crush you. New pattern. You meet someone. They show up strong at first. That quiet inner voice asks, "For how long?" You don't silence it this time. You pay attention. The first time they cancel without rescheduling. The first time you notice your texts are longer than theirs. The first time you feel yourself chasing. You stop. You don't demand an explanation. You don't send a paragraph. You don't try to repair what they're already letting die. You just exit, quietly, decisively. They might notice and ask what happened. By the time they do, you're already gone emotionally. People call this self-sabotage. They say you ruin good things. They're wrong. You're refusing to participate in your own abandonment. Machiavelli said, "It's better to be impetuous than overly cautious, because waiting passively leaves you at fortune's mercy. In your world, waiting passively leaves you at other people's mercy." Instruction: the moment you're the only one trying, stop trying. Don't argue with their behavior. Believe it. If they care, they'll adjust. If they don't, you just saved yourself months of erosion. Either way, you win. Number 5. The self-sovereignty principle. This is where everything changes. You stop seeing isolation as failure and start seeing it as clarity. You stop calling yourself cold and start calling yourself protected. You stop thinking something is wrong with you for choosing to be alone and start realizing something was wrong with what you were accepting. Machiavelli's ultimate lesson was sovereignty. A prince must not depend on the goodwill of others to maintain his state. He must build power that stands whether people love him or not. You can't build a stable self on the shaky ground of other people's attention. If your worth rises and falls with who texts back or remembers your birthday, your worth is permanently unstable. So you stop basing it there. Old version. Your birthday passes. No messages. You stare at your phone, refreshing, waiting. Each minute confirms the story. You don't matter. Your birthday passes. No messages. You notice. But it does not define you. You do something for yourself, or you let the quiet remain peaceful instead of punishing. You understand a simple truth. Most people are thinking about themselves, not about you. That is not a verdict on your value. It is how humans operate. This framework is difficult because it forces honesty. You are alone right now, not because you are unlovable or broken, but because that is where life has placed you. Instead of filling the space with one-sided connections, you accept it. You build a life that functions even if no one else enters it. Niccolò Machiavelli would call this real power. Not toughness as performance, but self-sufficiency. Real connection is welcome, but not at the cost of your sanity. Others call this coldness. They miss that the loneliest moments came from being surrounded by people who never saw you. Silence hurts less than invisibility. You tried it their way. It nearly destroyed you. So you chose a survivable way. You withdrew your investment. You pulled back your energy. You saved yourself. You used to be the dependable one, the listener, the rescuer. You measured worth by how much you gave and believed goodness meant staying even when staying was killing you. The break was not sudden. It was unanswered messages, canceled plans, and the moment you needed someone and no one showed up. The calculation finished itself. This was not worth it. You pulled back, not from cruelty, but from self-protection. People noticed and missed the version of you that carried their weight. You stopped ruling your life through blind generosity and started ruling it through clarity. You set a standard: meet me here, or do not meet me at all. Most did not. That revealed the truth. The energy once spent maintaining dying connections now builds your life. This is not giving up on people. It is refusing hollow connection. Being alone is less lonely than being unseen. Silence is kinder than begging to be heard. The lesson was never cruelty. It was clarity. You stopped believing explanations that contradict actions and stopped waiting on potential. You chose reality. If this changes nothing, it is entertainment. It was meant as a manual. Today, do one thing. Stop reaching out first. Enforce one boundary without explanation. Remove one taker. Build one habit that stands alone. Accept the truth without flinching. You are alone and you can survive it. You are not cold. You are clear. You are not giving up. You are choosing yourself. That choice saves you.